This should prove useful. This should prove useful. This should prove useful.
Ah, Holmes! There are thousands of these mosquitoes!
Watson, cover yourself with lemon juice. It will protect you from the mosquito stings.
Do you know any similar trick to avoid the sting of bullets? We likely need it soon.
There are signs of a struggle here. Perhaps Arnson regained his senses and fought back. Blood, and in large quantities. This bush has been stripped of its lower leaves and slightly uprooted. Someone grabbed hold of the brambles and refused to let go. His adversary, unable to get him down due to the man's tight grasp, must have cut off his hand. I would say his right.
What a horror!
Rather, and quite determined.
What do you make of this, Holmes?
A boat was waiting here. Watson, it seems everything leads to the swamp. How can we get there?
We must find that fisherman, the one at the docks who gave us information. He could help us.
You're quite right, Watson. Besides, it would be wise to visit a young woman.
A young woman?
Run, Watson, run!
We outran them, Holmes.
Surely not, Watson. They ceased their chase only when they saw we continued towards the port. Apparently, they have orders to kill intruders only as a last resort.
Is this supposed to reassure me?
Good evening, my darlings. Come to have a little fun, have you?
Well...
No, madam. We merely wish to speak with one of your boarders about an extremely urgent matter.
Of course you do, darling. How much money you looking to spend?
The matter is, madam, I must protest. It's not what you think. This is extremely urgent and involves nothing questionable.
Oh, sure, I understand. I know all about these urgent matters you fellas have to talk about with the girls. But unless I see the color of your money, you and your urgent matters best keep on moving. At least there are two of you. You could always lend each other a hand.
What did she just say? These Americans have such colorful expressions.
What else do you want? We have work to do.
What do you make of this, Holmes?
Good evening, sir. We are interested in a short trip along the bayou into the nearby swamp.
My mouth, nobody but some fool go in that swamp at night. Come back tomorrow. Old Champagne take you then for a fact.
No, sir. It is of the gravest importance that we could go to the swamp, and tonight.
No ways to get there. Listen, you have some boat hereabouts. Now, I can sell you the boat, but tell you true, you get your own selves to the swamp.
I believe we can find some manner of payment that you will find satisfactory. We shall return. Will this cover the cost of a boat?
It been kept in a bad way. My foot, it warm now for sure. All this'll get you is them planks from the woodpile around there.
And one of your lanterns.
Sold.
What do you expect to do with this, Holmes? Build a raft?
I believe we can find some manner of payment that you'll find satisfactory. We shall return. We should find a way to pay this man.
What do you make of this, Holmes?
It would be better to turn back.
Good evening, my darlings. Come to have a little fun, have you?
Well,
No, madam. We came to give this bouquet to one of your boarders. You know who I'm talking about. We have something very important to say to her.
Good evening. You brought these flowers? Who are you? What's happened to...
Mr. Arnson? We still do not know exactly what has happened with the gentleman, but we are here to try and find out. Listen to me, miss.
Lucy.
My dear Miss Lucy, my friend and I have come here all the way from England. You may have seen us this morning with the sheriff.
Are you working for him?
No. Actually, we suspect him of obstructing our investigation. Our case has some remote connection with Mr. Arnson, so we went to his home to talk with him. While there, we found evidence he has been abducted, and one of his servants had been murdered.
Kidnapped? But why?
I don't know, but time is running out. Please tell us what you know about Mr. Arnson, and, Miss Lucy, omit nothing. Even the most trivial of facts may prove to be of great importance.
He is such a kind man and had promised we would be married this autumn. He arrived in New Orleans about 2 years ago. He's a hunter and was to stay but a few weeks. He was after something in the swamp, Lord knows what. Then we met here. I had just started working, you see. Madam said that she would let me leave only if my debts and worth to her was paid off in full. A few weeks ago, Miss Arneson, said that he had the solution. Maybe he had the money and was kidnapped by people who wanted it. It would have been a small fortune to most folks round here.
And you know where he could have hidden it?
Oh, I don't care about the money. If it could bring me back, Errol, I'd give it away gladly. He showed me a secret room upstairs. He shoots with a gun to open it. He says that nobody else can succeed but a real marksman. Behind the wall is a cupboard with weapons and a little box hidden behind a big rifle. His money is inside. To open the gate of the cupboard, he uses signet ring that he wears on his right hand. But how can any of this help you? You don't have his ring.
You have been of greater assistance than you may realize, Miss Lucy. If Mr. Anson is still alive, we shall bring him back to you. Come on, Watson. Watson, let's pay a visit to this Anson.
Would you be so kind as to explain to me why we are coming back with these wood planks?
We are searching for a signet ring, Watson.
And how do these planks help us find it?
We must recover the hand that wears it, so we must find a way to lure its finder.
But whom are you talking about, Holmes?
Your intentions are good, my dear Watson, but you have missed everything of importance. Your intentions are good, my dear Watson, but you have missed everything of importance. Your intentions are good, my dear Watson, but you have missed everything of importance. Your intentions are good, my dear Watson, but you have missed everything of importance. Your intentions are good, my dear Watson, but you have missed everything. The facts speak for themselves, Watson. The key that unlocks Anson's cupboard is the signet ring he customarily wears on his right hand. There was the very same severed by one of his kidnappers when the poor man clung to the bush we saw on the way to the bayou. It so happens that raccoons are attracted by carrion and also are quite taken by shiny objects. No doubt one has made off with our missing hand and its ring. I noticed their tracks nearby, and no doubt they have a nest in this area. Find the raccoons and we find our hand.
As you put it, it seems quite obvious, Holmes.
It's simplicity itself. But now we need to place some bait so the little fellow will come out and take us back to his den. I'm going to set this outside to attract the little devil. I need something. Watson, there's the nest. It's on the roof above the balcony. Excuse me, madam. I'm merely passing by with no wish to disturb you, although I'm sure you found Mr. Arnson to be a man of good taste. This lock is very... Here is what we need to buy a boat.
What a splendid weapon.
Indeed, it'll be of great advantage in the swamp.
What do you make of this, Holmes? What do you make of this, Holmes?
Watson, we must inspect this place carefully and leave no stone unturned. We have little time.
You should have listened to me, Mr. Holmes, and gone back on your boat.
It's the sheriff. Quickly, load the rifle, Holmes.
No, Watson. Forget the gun and see to the ladder. And quickly. Let's go, Watson, to the port. Have we enough to buy a boat, sir?
For sure.
Excellent. Could you tell us the best way to reach the swamp area nearest to the rich parish?
That's simple enough for any fool. Sail along the River Crook and keep close to the shore.
There is one last service you can do for us. The boat from which we disembarked is scheduled to leave tomorrow for Europe. Could you take a message to the crew for us? We may need for them to hold their departure until 8 o'clock in the morning.
Will do.
And one last thing. How may we identify Old Sam's racks from any others?
Old Sam's racks be marked with blue and white tops.
Now, Watson, let's explore this swamp. It would be better to turn back. I have no reason to go there. Here is the hidden passage near Old Sam's racks. We are on the right course, Watson. Nothing of value there, Watson. Nothing of value there, Watson. Here is the hidden passage near Old Sam's racks. We are on the right course, Watson. Blood!
Here now, this is hardly reassuring. But what is this horror, Holmes? Where have you taken us?
Near the goal, Watson, near the goal. Here is the hidden passage near Old Sam's racks. We are on the right course, Watson.
I can think of nothing useful. What are we to do, Holmes? Good God! Look in the water! What monsters!
No, Watson, they are crocodiles, and apparently not very accommodating.
I can think of nothing useful. What are we to do, Holmes?
We must find some enticing food to lure them away from here, Watson. Let us think.
Holmes, I've failed to see how they feed these creatures, and do not rely on me to dive in.
Bravo, Watson. Here is what will draw these reptiles in that direction and free the passage.
Much better. But let's hurry and get ourselves across before we become their next course.
Attention, Watson. We arrive. Stand ready.
Here now, this is hardly reassuring.
Watson, see what you can do for this poor man. His servant took a harsh and terrible revenge by letting him go to these wild men. As for the others, I'm afraid we are too late. I haven't examined everything yet.
Pitiable and blind fools! Are you not aware of the Great One's arrival? Even now, his servants are coming across his kingdom, and the enlightened will give up their flesh to him. All will be present for his awakening. Do not fight the calling! Soon he will end his dreaming, and your world will be swallowed whole. Bow down and give thanks. You are the food of his new world.
I've got it, Holmes! We must act quickly, Holmes.
I haven't examined everything yet. A good number of people have been here, not long ago, and indeed not freely. This sinister figure was also a cannibal. Bored by seafood, was he? This is useless. I cannot do this. What a strange book. I've never seen these idioms before. How perfect. It'll provide welcome diversion during our return voyage.
Holmes, help me to carry him to the boat. I really can't say if he will survive the voyage back.
By the devil, that'd be Arneson.
Indeed. Do you know someone who can be accommodating and tend to him?
You takes yourselves round and sees that little Lucy what lives on the boat.
I know where Lucy is. Please, help my friends to lift this poor man to the wharf, and I will go find Miss Lucy.
What can we do for you, my pretty one?
Dear madam, could you tell Lucy that we have found Mr. Arneson, and tell her to hurry? This may be her last chance to see him while he still breathes.
Lucy! Lucy! Ah, here you are. This gentleman found your fella.
My God, can it be true?
Sure enough, as he say.
What have they done with you? Oh, my poor love.
He has lost his hand and is in deep shock. But with rest and tender care, he has a good chance to survive these injuries.
Oh, madam, please, please.
If I could have a moment, we found this sum of money, which is a large amount, and belongs to Mr. Arneson. I think it is fair to entrust it to your care.
Well, this seems all right then.
I will take good care of you. You'll see, my love.
About Arneson's place, there was some disorder left there. If you could be a good man and set things right.
You can count on old Champagne for every little thing. Now, that's a fact.
I can see our friend is in good hands. We better hurry, Watson. I see our ship is making ready to leave. Watson, I have told you several times now, I am not to be disturbed.
But Holmes, you have been locked inside your cabin for all of 4 days now. Outside, the sun is simply radiant, and the wind from the sea...
If you approach me, Watson, I will throw you out. Now, leave me.
Blast it all, Holmes! I am bored. I can't take these sailors' conversations for another minute.
We have an understanding, Watson, each to his purpose. I will look to the translation of the book. You are to study the figures written out by our young friend Davy. Now, get on with your task and leave me to mine.
But you know that these enigmas are not my strong point. Wouldn't you have some other task, which is better suited to my skills, Holmes?
Of course. You are a man of letters, after all. So, return to the bridge, take your trusted notebook, and apply your mind to editing this small writing.
Agreed. On what subject?
It is my monograph on the calculated trajectories of gull excretia. Good day, Watson. I see we have received a message, undoubtedly from my brother Mycroft. strange. Here, read this, Watson.
Indeed, but the possession of such a treasure is an end in itself. Why the devil go through with such an elaborate masquerade?
Money is often the motive of the basest acts, but not in this case. These are deep waters indeed, Watson. These people follow some other dark purpose, so desperate that it justifies any sacrifice and great risk.
You frighten me, Holmes.
I know, sometimes I frighten myself. Enough of idle speculations, Watson. I asked you to study the figures drawn by young Davy. No doubt they are some cipher. What do you make of them? Your intentions are good, my dear Watson, but you have missed everything of importance. Your intentions are good, my dear Watson, but you have missed everything of importance. Indeed, they are open to but one possible meaning, even if it eludes me at present. As for my own enigma, I have failed to penetrate the secrets of this book. The language is archaic, and my own modest knowledge of ciphers is sorely tested. I have succeeded in drawing forth only insanities and other absurdities. According to this book, if my translation is exact, if one makes this mark with human blood, and then with conviction recites this illuminating verse, the victim is mesmerized or deemed to leave his mind. I tell you, Watson, this reads like complete gibberish. I do not know what to make of it.
How did you say it? Gnerth Kadua... What? These drawings, what a horror. I tell you, Holmes, this book gives me great unease, as does almost everything to do with this affair.
I just recalled, Watson. Didn't Barnes, the bookseller, tell us he had studied ancient history? Perhaps he might help us with the translation of this book. We must seek out better minds, for we are at a standstill. I have not the slightest idea where they could have taken these people and what consequences await them. Let's take our leave and see if Barnes might be of assistance.
Mr. Holmes, Dr. Watson, a real pleasure to see you. I say, where have you been? You've stayed away for some months now.
Indeed, we took a very long journey and barely made it back. However, we have more important matters to discuss. Didn't you say you have some knowledge of ancient people, their language, writings, and customs?
Indeed I did, Mr. Holmes. Why do you ask? What can I do for you, Mr. Holmes?
You are just the man we need. I ran across this esoteric text during our travels and wondered if... Is there something wrong, Barnes?
Mr. Holmes, wherever did you find this? This book, it is worthy of a museum.
If you could be so good as to translate some of these fragments for me, I would be in your debt. I am particularly interested in these pages here. They are in the poorest condition and therefore appear to be the most used.
With pleasure. I will get to work straight away and keep you informed of my progress. My word, this book contains powerful language, like some dark magic. Dreadfully impressive. I will send word as soon as I am done.
Holmes, whatever shall we do while waiting for dear Barnes to finish his translation?
I have no reason to go there.
Strand! Get the Strand! 3 ships still missing at sea! All aboard feared lost! Get the Strand! Latest word on the missing ships!
Give me the latest edition. There's a good lad.
Thank you, mister.
Watson, consider the news of all these missing ships. I have an idea, but it will be necessary to secure a chart for the Scotland coast and nearby seas. No point in asking Barnes. I have no desire to divert his attention from the translation.
True enough, Holmes. But where else would we find such a chart?
The Strand! The Strand! By the Strand!
It's elementary. It is a sea chart we seek. We must go to the harbour. Good day, sir.
Good morning to you, gentlemen. Would you care for a pint, or perhaps something finer?
Thank you, but at the moment I have need of information and will have to miss another glass of your fine ale. More's the pity. Would you happen to know where I could find charts of the local waters?
They're all kept at the harbour master's office, but I'm afraid only those with port business are allowed to enter. I trust you understand.
Precisely. What I need is a chart of the Scottish area, where all those ships have wrecked recently.
Indeed, such a sad tale. All those poor souls lost at sea. It seems as if the very devil is at work there. Hang on, a chart of the Scotland coastline, you said? It seems to me I have one in my room over there, behind the bar. Here's the key. Take it and have a look for yourself. If you find it, it's yours for the taking.
I need something. I have what we need, Watson. Now, let's examine this map. Let us pause to consider the facts, Watson. No mystery can resist an agile mind. Watson, that's what those mysterious figures meant. Longitude and latitude. They indicate a point along the Scottish coast called Ardnamurchan. Let's bring back the key to the tavern keeper and see if he knows this place.
Did you find everything to your liking?
Indeed, you are as good as your word. I found the charts just as you said. Does the name Ardnamurchan mean anything to you?
Ah, yes. It's a lighthouse along that very coastline. Legend has it, the place was built over a pirate's hideaway. In fact, now that I think on it, that spot is right in the middle of the tempest that is taking down all those ships. Rather odd-looking building. They say the chap who built it, Stevenson I believe his name was, that he fancied up the entrance with foreign symbols, Egyptian obelisks and even a dog with wings. Strange fixings for a lighthouse, isn't it?
What do you make of this, Holmes?
Anything else, gentlemen? Mr. Holmes, I was able to translate the pages that you wanted. Come, I will show you. This book is quite ancient. It tells of a terrifying sect devoted to strange entities. The descriptions are vague, but we can presume the origin of this myth arises from the destructive Leviathan represented in the Bible, a creature said to sleep and dream in a strange city under the sea.
A nightmare sleeping within the sea.
To be exact, the pages you asked me to translate are in fact a prayer or invocation to this entity and the description of the ceremony associated with it. To be frank, what is described in this book would make one laugh, were it not for its reliance on such horribly obscene, morbid, and bloodthirsty language.
And this ceremony, what can you tell me about it?
Promise me you will not laugh. The book says that hundreds or thousands of years ago, during a particular alignment of the stars, a priest performed these rites, invoking the name of a destructive Leviathan. The priest intoned his name and called for his return to this earth so his followers could give him his due. The priest then asked a representative of each nation on the earth to recite the invocation and sacrifice themselves to the sea from atop a colossal natural rock tower surrounded by water. All this is quite absurd, isn't it?
Pray continue, Barnes.
As you like. It goes on to say that the ceremony must be held under the image of the messenger of the outside gods. Nothing more exact is said on these entities. However, from their description, their messenger would have a form rather close to the Egyptian Sphinx, except that his face is without feature and jet black in colour. So an idol in its likeness must be present during the ceremony. But can you imagine that? Some so-called priest and an international crowd atop a tower singing in unison before some faceless winged stone lion?
I can imagine it very well, Barnes. You say that these people are to throw themselves into the sea so that their god will have his due. But what is it about? What does this god seek?
That's the most preposterous part of this tale, and proves it to be pure myth and fancy. Even for the sake of argument, this ceremony could never have happened. In such ancient times, it would have been quite impossible to gather representatives from every nation on Earth and in one place.
I understand, Barnes. Humour me a bit more and please answer my last question. What would this Leviathan want from us?
Indeed, we would owe this creature our world. According to this, complete the ceremony and the collective sacrifice, invoke the demon, and he will arise and swallow the earth. Yes, Holmes, they sought nothing less than the end of the world. What nonsense!
Thank you, Barnes. I must leave now. Goodbye. The newspaper dating before our departure. Watson, find it. There was some article about the current alignment of the stars. This may tell us precisely how much time we have left.
But Holmes, surely you can't believe...
The newspaper, Watson. Find that newspaper. Look, Watson! The light is barely lit. This explains the shipwrecks and recent disappearances.
Holmes, if we do not find a place to land, and soon, I fear they will add our names to those poor souls lost in these seas. Oh my God! Holmes, look! The sea! It just swallowed him!
Lambs for the slaughter! Watson, we must stop this!
We must act quickly, Holmes. This wet wooden piece must weigh as much as 2 elephants.
Watson, here are 3 geysers of seawater. We could do well to remember what McGrinty's man said before they slit his throat. This isn't right. Perhaps if I begin again.
This rope is hardly reliable, but it's the best that we... It is sealed tight from the inside. 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 Watson, here are 3 geysers of seawater. We could do well to remember what McGrinty's man said before they slit his throat.
This isn't right. Perhaps if I begin again.
Watson, here are 3 geysers of seawater. We could do well to remember... This must be the place. You know my methods, Watson. Let's examine the soil closely.
I need something. I need something. I need something. I need something.
We must act quickly, Holmes.
Indeed, barrels of fresh water.
This wet wooden piece must weigh as much...
I need something. I need something. I need something. I begin to think those pirate tales are more than mere superstitions.
You may well be right, Holmes. And about the ghost?
Who knows, Watson? Who knows?
Holmes!
Come on, Watson. We are men of science, aren't we? A real danger waits for us in this lighthouse, if we reach it. To reassure you, I will take the lead and go down first. Let's see. It seems to me it is rather an abrupt descent. How should we go about this?
This wet wooden piece must weigh as much as 2 elephants. This wet wooden piece must weigh as much as 2 elephants. This wet wooden piece must weigh as much as 2 elephants.
I must take care not to fall inside. I must take care not to fall inside. I must take care not to fall inside.
Indeed, barrels of fresh water. Indeed, barrels of fresh... Indeed, barrels... Indeed, barrels of fresh water.
Holmes! Holmes! Can you hear me? Holmes! Are you all right?
Don't worry, Watson. I appear to still be in one piece. This rope is finished.
But fortune is on our side, as the lantern is undamaged. This ground is unstable. I dare not take a step without the light.
Holmes! I will try to join you!
No, Watson, stay where you are. This rope is useless. We are quite separated, my friend. I will try to find the way to the lighthouse alone, although, to be honest, I would feel much better with a weapon at my side. No, keep your pistol. It could discharge if dropped. Here now, I have an idea. Toss me that iron bar instead.
Watch out!
Watson, what rotten luck! It is stuck!
Holmes! I can't understand what you are saying!
I can barely make him out. Bad luck, the hole must be blocked with debris. From now on, I have only my wits to serve me. This skeleton has fossilized. It must have been here for years. This box is almost untouched. Moreover, someone has taken care to seal it against the elements with a cover and tar. This box is almost These beams undoubtedly came from some structure overhead. Maybe something interesting is there, but I can't make it out. Poor devil, alcohol has killed him. Perhaps if I call out, Watson will hear me.
Watson! I say there, Watson!
No use, he can't hear me anymore.
Watson! I say there, Watson!
No use, he can't hear me anymore. He liked his drink. Apparently too much. Still some left. This drink twists a man's gut at least 95 degrees, and age has not improved it. This should prove useful. This will do nicely as a ladder. This box is almost untouched. Moreover, someone has taken care to... Sails, sails, and more sails. They might serve as rags. We shall see. I can't do this.
Watson! I say that! Watson!
To fall into this crevice would mean certain death. If I could move this rock, I believe I could go further. I need something. If I could move this rock, I believe I could go further. I need something. If I could move this rock, I need something. If I could move this rock, I need something. If I could move this rock, I need something. Unequivocally, alcohol has destroyed everything here. Some of these bones have fossilized over time. I could use them as torch handles. If I could move this rock, I believe I need something. If I could move this rock, I believe I could go further. I need something. Yes, there is something here. Now it can't be used for anything. 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 Yes, there is something here. This isn't right. Perhaps if I begin again. This isn't right. Perhaps if I begin again. Yes, there is something here. Yes, there is something here. cannot do this. This skeleton has fossilized. If I could move this rock, I believe I could go further. I need something. If I could move this I need something. If I could move this rock, I need something. If I could move this rock, I believe I need something. This isn't right. Perhaps if I begin again. Now it can't be used for anything. This isn't right. Perhaps if I begin again. Yes, there is something here.